Guys, Chelsea look fresh. Chelsea look dangerous. Chelsea just battered AC Milan 4-1 in their second game back in pre-season. They look so sharp. The football Chelsea were playing, particularly going forward in attack, was absolutely incredible. They look like a real team. Joao Pedro, 5 goals in 5 games, 100% record. This is outrageous. I knew Joao Pedro was good, and I remember there being a negative reaction when you signed him. And I was literally like, no, this is a good player. This is a player that I've been talking about for 2 years. Joao Pedro, hyping him up, saying he's a good player. And I knew he would do well at Chelsea. I knew he was a Champions League level player. But he's fitting in so well. And in today's video, I'm going to break down what we learned from Chelsea's 4-1 win over Milan. Because I don't want to just talk about Joao Pedro. I want to talk about this Chelsea squad as a whole. Obviously, the whole defensive situation with Cole out. I think Chalobah had a bit of a knock. We'll talk about Joao Pedro, the attack in general. Gittins, maybe if Garnacho comes in, what happened there? I thought Neto was good again. Delap was unbelievable. Palmer was looking sharp. Esteval winning a penalty, causing chaos. We'll talk about the midfield because Asugo, wow, he's a joke. The depth there, the wide threats of defense. Just, I will give you my general thoughts on the game and break it down. But I think we just have to start by talking about Joao Pedro. I mean, that guy is incredible. And the mad thing is, Delap comes on and scores a brace. Obviously, one is a penalty, which Esteval does well to win. But the thing about Joao Pedro is you can play him with Delap if you want. It's not necessarily Delap's not going to get minutes because Joao Pedro's there. Joao Pedro was the 9. I think he's going to be the 9. But he can go over to the left if you need be, or he can go over and be a 10 if need be. He could play in a front two with Delap. So it gives Enzo Maresca a lot of options and a lot of versatility and things to play with. Because I'm going to tell you this now, Liam Delap was really good today. His all-round play was good today. I think with Liam Delap, he's probably going to benefit from having Joao Pedro there to learn from, because I think if Delap had gone in and Chelsea had needed him to perform week in, week out, such a big different environment to Ipswich, such a step up, I think that could have been difficult. I think he will benefit from having Joao Pedro there to take the pressure off. But yeah, let's talk about Chelsea versus Milan then. Let's go through my notes. I'm just going to give a big shout out to Reece James. If Reece James can stay fit, he's a phenomenal player. He was phenomenal today. I'll give a shout out to Reece James. Casado, I don't even know. Do I even need to say Casado's good? Like, Casado's so good every game that it's almost like we don't mention it now because it's the norm. Neto's looking a lot brighter. Gittins is good, but maybe end product lacks in areas. But Joao Pedro scored. Delap got 2. 1 was an own goal. Chelsea went 2-0 within 8 minutes, and they were electric. You didn't look like this was their second game back for pre-season, where Milan have had a full pre-season. It was an elite attacking display from Chelsea. Defensive was solid. It could have been better. There was times where Milan were really getting down their right-hand side. Reece James got back, made a really good tackle. There was times where I think Chelsea could be better defensively, and they might have to look at bringing the centre-back with Colwell missing. Of course, Hatter could potentially step in, but I think Colwell, being not only a really good centre-back on the ball, which is fine because Chelsea's so technically good they could cover that, but also maybe the more mobile front-footed centre-back. Maybe Chelsea might look at that, particularly if Chalobah's out, because I really do rate Chalobah. But Chelsea were outstanding, and I don't think you could have asked much more from Chelsea. And as a Man United fan, I am jealous. I am jealous of how Chelsea had this bad season, and they've gone from, 12th to 6th to 4th. And where are they going to go next year? They keep going up and up. They keep improving. And I'm really hoping that this will happen at Manchester United, where we keep improving, because 15th last season was an absolute joke. But this Chelsea team keeps pushing on and on and on. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So, 5 goals in 5 games. The thing about Joao Pedro is, and I mentioned this when you signed him, he's a really good player. And with Jackson, I think Jackson, and people are going to disagree with this, I think Nicholas Jackson is a good player, but not a good striker. Now, everybody's going off the recency bias with Nicholas Jackson ending the season badly for Chelsea, silly red cards, being rash, acting like an idiot. But the first few months of last season, Nicholas Jackson was good. And I feel like people write about Nicholas Jackson as if he's this rubbish striker. But he's not. But Joao Pedro is clearly an improvement. But what Joao Pedro has is he's got what Nicholas Jackson used to do so well, dropping deep, linking up play. I thought Nicholas Jackson and Palmer, the first half of last season, combined really well. And Nicholas Jackson was good enough to get you guys to top 4. He was good enough to get you guys back on track. You went from 12th to 6th to 4th. But he wasn't good enough to be your number 9 long term. And Joao Pedro maybe is that, because where Nicholas Jackson would lack is finishing and his ability in the box to be in the right areas to win those headers. And Joao Pedro's got that box ability and that finishing ability where he's just more natural than Jackson. And he just, I think, is generally a better player. I think with Joao Pedro, he's elite technically. We all know that Joao Pedro is elite technically. We all know what Joao Pedro can do technically. His movement is good. He's good at attacking crosses. His link-up play is good. He's really good at dropping deep, facilitating play. When you've got wingers like Neto, Gittins, with Garnacho potentially coming in that like to make those forward runs that are quick, he can link with that. He could allow Palmer to bomb on ahead. He can combine with Palmer because they're such intelligent players. You get that with Joao Pedro. But he can win penalties. He can draw fouls. He can force mistakes. He brings chaos. He is the type of player you don't want to play against, but you want in your side. I remember he won a penalty versus Arsenal from the chaos he creates. I remember today he got a player sent off. He's one of those guys where he forces mistakes, he creates chaos. The best attacks create chaos, and Chelsea have that. He's a chaos maker. Palmer, chaos maker, whether it's creativity. Esteban, winning a penalty, chaos maker. Joao Pedro. Then they've got the pace of Gittins, who likes to go 1v1 and be direct, who's still incredibly raw, but it's there. Garnacho is probably United's most chaotic player in terms of running behind, causing defenders issues, being direct. Potentially, he's coming in. You look at obviously all these sort of players at Chelsea. Neto has been really good lately, staying fit, looked really good. I think Neto is having a big season ahead. But Chelsea have so many players in this attack that can create chaos. There's also Delap there, who's proven that there's a good player in Delap. 30 million looks like a bargain. He's versatile and he does so much. And Joao Pedro, for me, if he stays fit, is going to be signing of the season. So let's continue on. So, Joao Pedro, Delap, Cole Palmer, Esteval, Neto, Gittins, Garnacho potentially coming in, Xavi Simons potentially coming in. Chelsea's attack for next season looks set. It looks chaotic. There's players that are capable of being unpredictable. Gittins is really good at creating separation, taking on his man. End product could improve decision making, but I think he's naturally an intelligent player. I think with Gittins, he's raw, but he kind of has similarities to Madueke. That he's going to get off a shot, he's going to look to make things happen. He can go and manipulate defenders. He's good 1v1. Neto is a really good crosser of the ball, good assist today. We know what Neto can do. Put him on the right, get down there, put a cross in. Neto's a good player. Esteval, he scores, he wins penalties, he creates chaos, he wants to be involved, he wants to make things happen. He's a different level of talent. Cole Palmer was fantastic today. He was incredibly sharp, incredibly involved. Should have probably scored today, was unlucky not to score. Delap is a bit of a bully in the box. Joao Pedro is just the chaos machine. Xavi Simons is the creative guy. We know what he can do. Garnacho, for me, was Manchester United's most dangerous player last season. And I said this, and Man United fans got angry at me. I said, losing Garnacho might be a bigger loss than Man United fans think. Obviously, he's been a twat and fallen out with Amorim. But Garnacho was constantly getting into dangerous areas. Garnacho missed a lot of big chances for Man United, but he was getting into those areas because his runs, his movement, his unpredictability, and he could dribble the ball from outside to in. Chelsea look like they've got this attack of unpredictability, and the best way to break down low blocks is chaos. Unpredictable players, chaos, which is why Arteta was looking at Madueke. It's why Arteta's looking at Gyökeres, Eze, because Arsenal can't break down low blocks. In attack, Chelsea are elite. They've got a better attack than Arsenal right now. They've got these players that are fast, that are creative, that are really good. The 1-2s, the intelligence that Esteban will have. Xavi Simons, if he comes in, will have. Palmer has. Joao Pedro has. The bench, the quality's there. Maresca at times, I criticise him for maybe not using his bench as much as he should last season. But we can see that Chelsea have this immense amount of quality on their bench that I think he will use more because he's got the players in that he wants. I want to give a shout out to Palmer. He probably could have scored 2 goals today. I thought he was really threatening. He was unlucky not to score. I say more. Unlucky not to score. He was sharp. I thought the passes between the lines was good. I thought his play was really good. It was really intelligent. It looked more balanced. For me, Chelsea are evolving as a team when it's not the Palmer show anymore, and that's a good thing. In Poch's season, it was the Palmer show. Whereas last season, actually, Caicedo was your best player, and it was less of the Palmer show. And while Palmer dropped off, the fact that Chelsea was still able to come forth, to do all of that while Palmer dropped off. And then in the big moments, Club World Cup final, Conference League final, Palmer showed his quality again. He's not finished. He's not done. It's crazy that people even suggested that. But the fact that you were able to be all right and not rely on Palmer shows how good of a team you are. And I think now Palmer's going to have really good players around him, even better players around him. And it's not all about him. It will be really good for him because he can link up well. And there's going to be some really good combination play with all those Chelsea players. Continuing on into Moises Caicedo, good Enzo Fernandez, good midfield, Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer, and real midfield. But to think that your depth can be Esteval for Palmer and even Xavi Simons if he comes in, but Andre Santos, Asugo, and Lavia can all be depth in the deeper areas. Asugo, wow, I honestly am not really aware of him, but wow, he's so physically solid. He's so good. He's so good defensively. Your midfield depth is crazy. I didn't realize how good your midfield depth is. Obviously, Lavia's just a walking injury. But there's this attack. There's this midfield. Defense is the question. We're going to talk about that. Because Sado, the off-the-ball work, fantastic. A monster, ground winner, duel winner. Sorry, crazy at covering ground, great duel winner. Progressive passing, wow. And then you've got Casado good on the ball. But then you've got Andre Santos and Asugo, which are also these elite level players that can cover. And Chelsea will need that more in the Champions League. The wide threat of Neto was Sin, got an assist. Gittins direct 1v1, good step overs, was creating separation well. Maybe his end product could improve. Esteval won a penalty, dangerous, intelligent creator. Garnacho and Xavi Simons could potentially come in. Delap did really well. Reece James was fantastic today. Really good tackle, recovery tackle, getting back. The only things I will mention is I think with Colwell being out, it's a massive loss. I think you might have to look at centre-back. If you get Xavi Simons, Garnacho, a goalkeeper and a centre-back, you could win the league. You were vulnerable, I think, on the right at times. I think even though Milan had 10 men, maybe Maresca's probably not happy with how they got through a couple of times. I think you were all round solid. But I don't know if Chalobah's a bad injury. Colwell's obviously a bad injury. Maybe you want a top-level centre-back. Hatto's very young. He was also kind of cover for Cucurella, so he's not running to the ground. Maybe that's what you got to look at. But I think in all, it was a very good Chelsea performance. My final verdict I wrote down here. Dominated Milan, played with swagger. I think some of the football you played was incredible. Hate to say it, you are a really good team to watch. Too many threats, too much attacking depth. Midfield is just class. There's questions over defensive. I don't think your centre-backs were bad today. There's anything like that. It's just, I think you've got a defence that gets you top 4 easily. Cucurella and Reece James are title-winning fullbacks, and you've got centre-backs that can get you top 4. But are they enough to take you to winning the Premier League? Do you know what I mean? Are they that's the question. Robert Sanchez as well. Is he enough to take you to win the Premier League? He's got a mistake in him. That is sort of the question there. But I do think this is one of the most exciting and fun Chelsea teams to watch in years. And I'm saying this as a Man United fan. I watch Chelsea and I think, yeah, they're good to watch. Yeah, this is a good side. And, that's a big thing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.